Okay, let's go back to our class. Now we have a class, the same here. Then we have the third doc clean here. So for the doc clean here, we want to have an input string. Then for a new string, we want the old string to be replaced. Remove all the non-word and underscore. That to be replaced into a space. But in case we have too many non-word to be replaced into space, we will do a more clean up. So we want the more space here to be replaced to single space. Then we give a return to the clean up string here. So this is the third function we have created from our lessons. Now, let's have a try. After we create this class and functions, how do we call it and use it? The most important things for program design is to reuse your program. So whenever you create a class and functions, which means you want to reuse it as much as possible. So now we will practice how to reuse it. So we remove the mark here, then we start from here. So from here we say from the class we called, which we have already make it called lesson underscore 02 underscore class, which is .py program. So when we have more than one class or a lot of different functions, we can view them from here. By doing so, from your spider, you can click on view and pans. Then under it, you can click on outline. Here, I will try to remove it so the outline has gone. But if we want to see it, we say view, pans, and outlines. So we have pans. We have the text process class here. So inside it, we have different functions here. If it says M, maybe it means module. So we have, after our class, we will have about six functions here inside the text process. So now we call the lesson to class Py here, then we import text process. So now we give the text process an assignment. We want the P is an instance of the text process class. So for words is a variable we want to assign to. So we want the P instance doc split words. So we call this one functions. Then we want the C underscore string to be to do the doc split words functions into words. So the result will be a set of words. So now we have C string from here. So we won't be able to get any errors. So we now give this call, this function call around, see what can we get. We mark out this one so we won't have too many printed out to confuse us. So now see, we have the set of words here is actually displayed here. So now I have 3 words inside my set. It's called I am, inside my list is I am Fanny. So that's the way of coding our functions. Now, if we want to do another call, so we want to do, this is not yet a call, so we want to do another bulk of words. So for doing the bulk of words, how do we do it? We want to use the dictionary we have just taught before. So for dictionary, we need a key and a value pairs. So now, what we are saying here is for words inside the words, which is single words inside the words, we just split it into our list. So now we have each single word in our words collection. If words in counts, the count is currently is nothing, because we declare an empty dictionary into count. So we say if word in count, then if you see a word in the dictionary, then we want the count word, the value is 1. If you see it again, then plus 1 again. If else, if the count word is not seen, which means it's a new word we from the loop, then we just put 1 inside our count. So then, in this case, we have produced a dictionary into the word count, which later on in our natural language processing, it will code bulk of words. So now we give this one a play. So now we can see the result. It says I just have 1 frequency, then M has 1 frequency, and Fanny has 1 frequency. So this is the way we want to produce a word frequency into our dictionary. So now you can practice, put this one as a bulk of word method into the text processing class. So now let's go back to the class here. So here is the new class we want to create it. So from here we can see we call the function bulk underscore words. Then we want a set of words. So we need an input is a set of words. Then we call the counts is a dictionary, is an empty dictionary. So for each single word in the words collection, if the single word is in count is seen, so the count will be plus 1 cumulated. But if the word is not seen, so we assign 1 into the value. Then after that, after all the words has been run in the loop, then we return the count, which is a dictionary here. So this is the bulk of word method we added into the classes, the text process class. Okay, so we finished the last string. Now we are going to the more difficult regular expression here. So for the regular expression, you can, if you have the time, you can look at these 2 links. So there are more detailed description on how to use the regular expression in Python, and also this one from tutorial point. Now we will do the proper regular expression. So now we can do import as before, as to program before. Then the string is longer than we used before. I don't want to do an input because it will take me time to every time type something in here. So then I put a longer sentence here. Now, the first regular expression we want to do is to match capital words. So for the match capital words, the first thing we want to match is so we actually want the matches, which is a variable, equals to re.findIterate. So we want to find as many as possible from the string. Then what do we want to find? We want to find here is a group from capital A to capital Z. Then after the capital A to capital Z, we want to a small a to Z in after that. Then after the small a to Z, we want as many as possible of small a to Z, which means if we have a capital like John is a J, capital J, OHN, then we want as many as possible small letters behind the capital word. Then after that, we want a space here, so we can detect each word is a capital words. So now we give this one a run to see what we can find. So in our sentence, we actually have things that fulfill our rules, which is capital A to Z, like this one. Then we have small character here, then as many as possible behind a capital words. Then we have the gems, which is the same, fulfill our rule. Then we have the Potter here. So now we have 3 words, Harry, James, Potter. But for actually matching a name about a person, we don't want it to be split into 3 words. So we actually wanted it to be matched as a name. So we want to try if we can match more like the second one. So now we say we want to match the same as last time before, but after here we want after the space, we want another capital word. So here we are saying we want to match maybe first name and the last name. So here is the way we want to match first name and the last name. So let's have a run here. So now we have Harry James. So our program assuming everyone just has first name and the last name. However, in some country they have a middle name or even more. So now we need to change this one a little bit to the third one. So now our rule has a little bit of change. Now we want to match a capital word and a small letter here. But then after that, we want the space. After that, then we group this one together and say we want to match this kind of pattern to appear for at least one time or as many as possible. So if the person has a longer name, contain first name, last name, and 3 or 2 middle names, so we can all match them together. So then let's have a run, see. So now our result becomes Harry, James, Potter. So that's the proper names we want our system to show. So this is the way we want to match the proper names. So now we will do next one. So the previous one is to match name entity. But now we want to match something like digital. So the digit, maybe it's a pattern of money, or maybe it's a pattern of something countable numbers. So now we want to do So now let's have a try to see if we can match some money here. So in here we have this kind of, let's say we want to match 1,000 time. If the 1,000 is written in this kind of, in this way, then to see if our pattern can match it. So first of all, we try to match. So in our pattern, we say all the digital. So it's a backslash, a small d, plus a space, backslash s, which means a space. So we want to match actually digital number and appears as many as possible. So now we want to match these patterns. So then let's see if we can do it. So now we have 1,000 here. So, however, if in a document the 1,000 is written in this way, then for our pattern, it may not be able to identify this one. For example, after comment, then we just have 3 zeros, which means we didn't match the single comment. Then for the first digit, we can't fulfill our pattern because after it, it's not a space, it's a comment. So therefore, the 1 and the comment doesn't match, so we can only get 3 zeros. So in this case, we need to think of the way people commonly written for like bigger than 1,000. So now here we say we want to match. Oh, for this pattern we still can't find this one, but we are able to find if it's a digit with 2 decimals. Then we say we want to match as many digits as possible before the dot. Then we want to, after the dot, we want the 2 digit. So it's here. Then after 2 digit, we want a space here. So this pattern means we want as many as possible digit before the dot, then 2 digit after the dot, then a space after 2 digit. So in this case, we should be able to find like this one. So we are able to identify this dot and the 2 zeros. But unfortunately, we still can't find the 1 and the comment. So we are not able to identify 1,000 properly. So now, using the last matching patterns here, we say that we want the digit as many as possible. Then we want a comment after that. Then we want this kind of pattern to appear at least once, or as many as possible. Then we want, after that, we want the digit to appear as many as possible with the plus. Then after that, we want a dot, which means we want a dot, then we want a decimal point digit here. So now, using this pattern, we will see if we can find out where our 1,000 properly. So now, you can see we have 1,000.00 find out. So if we have a big digit number like this one, so we will check if our pattern can still find the proper numbers. So here, see, we can still find it, no problem. So now I want you to put this one, finding the digital decimals and into our class. So we use the name called find digit. Then we put this function into our text process class. Okay, then let's have a look at here. So we have the last two functions here. So for this one is to find named entity. So we put our program last for the one before, then we find the names. So we have the string input. Then we want the match to find as many as possible the big capital and small word as the name, first name, last name, or even the middle names. So we want it to appear at least once or more. So this is the way we want to find the names using these patterns. Then the last one is to find the digit here using the same string input. Then we want the match to find out digit numbers. Then this pattern to appears at least once or more. Then after that we have another digit pattern to appear here. Then this digit pattern will contain a decimal point. Then after the decimal point we will have another digit after that. So this is the way we find out digit in our string. Okay, that's all for these lessons.